why your daily walk might be draining you, not healing you. Let me start with a story. It's a composite of many people I've taught over the years, not a real patient, but you may recognize yourself in it. Margaret is 68. Every morning she walks for 90 minutes. She read somewhere that walking is the best exercise for seniors, and that's true. So she figured more walking means more health. She pushes through even when her knees ache, even when she feels wobbly near the end, even when she comes home so tired she needs a nap before lunch. Have you ever felt like Margaret? Finishing a walk more exhausted than when did you start? Here's the part most people miss. Walking is medicine, but like any medicine, the dose matters. Too little does nothing. Too much can cause side effects. And after 60, your body handles that dose very differently than it did at 40. Let's look at what's actually happening inside your body during a long walk. First, your muscles. After around age 50, most of us slowly lose muscle mass each year, a natural process doctors call sarcopenia. That's just the medical word for age-related muscle loss. Nothing scary, but it changes the rules. When you were younger, a long walk broke down a little muscle, and your body rebuilt it stronger overnight. After 60, that rebuilding process is slower. If your walks are very long and your recovery is short, you may break down more than you rebuild. The walk that used to strengthen you can start to slowly drain you instead. And this is where it gets interesting. Second, your joints. The cartilage in your knees and hips, that smooth cushion between the bones, has less water content and repairs itself more slowly as we age. A long walk on hard pavement in worn-out shoes at the same repetitive pace loads those cushions the same way, step after step, thousands of times. Your joints don't get a signal to adapt. They just get a signal to complain. That's often the aching you feel that evening. Third, your heart and blood vessels. Now don't worry, walking is genuinely one of the best things you can do for your heart, and nothing in this video changes that. But here's what few seniors realize. A very long, very slow walk keeps your heart in a narrow, low-effort zone the entire time. Your heart barely notices it. Meanwhile, a walk that's too long without water, especially in warm weather, can leave you dehydrated, and that's often behind those dizzy spells near the end. Have you ever noticed feeling lightheaded in the last stretch of a long walk? That's your body waving a small flag at you. Fourth, and this one surprises almost everyone, your blood sugar and the energy system. Your muscles store fuel called glycogen. Think of it as the charge in a battery. After 60, that battery is a bit smaller and recharges more slowly. A 90-minute walk can drain it almost completely. That's why Margaret needs a nap before lunch. Her walk didn't energize her. It emptied her battery, and her body spends the rest of the day trying to recharge. But here's the part most people miss. None of this means you should walk less overall. Walking remains one of the most researched, most recommended activities for healthy aging. Studies consistently link regular walking to better heart health, stronger bones, sharper thinking, and longer independence. The problem is not walking. The problem is how most seniors walk. The length, the pace, the recovery, the small habits around it. Remember this because it's the core message of this whole video. After 60, it's not about walking more, it's about walking smarter. So here's the question that changes everything. If 90 minutes of slow walking isn't the answer, what is? It turns out researchers have been studying exactly this. There appears to be a sweet spot, a certain amount and style of walking where the benefits climb steeply and beyond which they may flatten out or even the reverse for some people. Where is that sweet spot? And why does a small change in pace seems to matter more than an extra hour of distance? That's what we're uncovering next, the science of walking after 60. Let's open the hood and look at the engine. Don't worry, no textbook language here, just simple pictures of what's happening inside you when you walk. Start with your blood vessels. Think of your arteries like garden hoses. When you're young, they're soft and flexible. They stretch with every heartbeat. As we age, those hoses naturally stiffen a little. Here's the good news. Movement acts like a gentle massage for the inner lining of those hoses. When blood flows faster during a brisk walk, the vessel walls release a substance called nitric oxide. Think of it as a natural, relaxing signal that helps the hoses stay supple. But notice the key word, brisk. A very slow stroll barely raises the flow. It's like turning the tap to a trickle and expecting the hose to get a workout. Research suggests that walking pace may matter more than total walking time for heart and vessel health. Several large studies have linked brisk walking, a pace where you breathe a bit deeper but can still talk, with better cardiovascular outcomes than slow walking, even when the slow walkers covered more distance. And this is where it gets interesting. Let's talk about the famous 10,000 steps. Have you ever felt guilty for not hitting that number? Here's something that may lift a weight off your shoulders. That 10,000 figure didn't come from medical research. It's widely reported to have started as a marketing slogan for a Japanese pedometer in the 1960s. What does the actual research say? Studies in older adults suggest the biggest health gains appear when people move from very low step counts up to a moderate range, with benefits rising steeply and then leveling off somewhere well before 10,000 steps for many seniors. One well-known study of older women found that mortality benefits appeared to plateau around roughly 7,500 steps per day. Read that again because it's freeing. The science points to a sweet spot, not an endless more is better staircase. Now your muscles. Remember the battery from chapter 1? Here's the recharging side of the story. When you walk, your leg muscles act like a second heart. Every time your calf muscles squeeze, they push blood from your legs back up toward your chest. Doctors sometimes call the calf the second heart for exactly this reason. That's one reason walking helps with swollen ankles and heavy legs. But muscles only grow stronger when they're challenged and rested. Challenge without rest is like watering a plant with a fire hose. Too much, too constantly, and nothing can take root. After 60, muscle recovery may take noticeably longer than it did in your 40s. That's not a weakness, that's biology. It means rest days aren't laziness. They're when the actual strengthening happens. But here's the part most people miss. Your balance system is also being trained or untrained by how you walk. Balance relies on 3 inputs: your eyes, your inner ear, and tiny sensors in your feet and joints called proprioceptors. That's just the medical word for your body's position sensors. Walking the same flat route at the same slow pace, staring at the ground, barely wakes these sensors up. Slightly varied terrain, a lifted gaze, and small changes in speed give them a gentle workout. And balance, more than almost anything else, is what protects independence after 60. One more piece, blood sugar. When you walk, your muscles pull sugar out of your bloodstream to use as fuel. And here's the remarkable part. They can do this with less help from insulin. Research suggests that even short walks after meals, sometimes as brief as 10 to 15 minutes, may help reduce the blood sugar spike that follows eating. For seniors, timing a walk after a meal may do more for blood sugar than a much longer walk on an empty stomach. Let me tell you about Henry, again, a composite example, not a real patient. Henry, 72, walked an hour every morning before breakfast, slowly, the same loop every day. When he learned this science, he changed almost nothing about his total effort. He simply split his walking up, added some brisker minutes, and moved one short walk to after dinner. Within weeks, he told his doctor he felt steadier and less wiped out. Same legs, same neighborhood, different doses. So here's the core message, again, in new words. Your body after 60 doesn't reward endurance for its own sake. It rewards the right stimulus at the right intensity with the right recovery. Which raises the uncomfortable question. If the science is this clear, why are so many seniors still walking the wrong way? Because 3 very convincing myths are steering them. And you might believe at least one of them right now. Let's bust them. The 3 mistakes most seniors are making right now. Mistake number 1, the longer the walk, the healthier I am. You might be doing this right now. Many seniors treat walking like a savings account. Every extra minute is another deposit. So they stretch their walks longer and longer. 60 minutes, 90, 2 hours on a good day. But your body doesn't work like a savings account. It works more like a garden. Watering helps up to a point. Past that point, more water doesn't grow more flowers. It drowns them. Here's what the longer is better habit often produces after 60. Joints loaded past their recovery capacity, a drained energy battery, and that afternoon exhaustion we talked about. Have you ever noticed that your longest walking days are often followed by your most tired, most inactive days? That's the hidden cost. One giant walk followed by a day of sitting may do less for you overall than 2 or 3 modest walks spread across the day. And remember the research from Chapter 2? The benefits curve rises steeply, then flattens. Past the sweet spot, you're mostly adding wear, not health. But here's the part most people miss. The second myth is even more common, and almost nobody talks about it. Mistake number 2, slow and steady is the safest pace at my age. This one sounds so sensible. Take it easy, don't push. You're not training for a marathon. And listen, gentle movement is always better than no movement. If a slow stroll is what your body allows today, it still counts. And I mean that. But if you're able to walk faster and you simply never do, you're leaving most of the benefit on the table. Think about it this way. Your heart is a muscle. Muscles adapt to what you ask of them. If you only ever ask for a stroll, your heart only ever prepares for a stroll. The research we mentioned earlier keeps pointing the same direction. Pace appears to matter more than distance for heart health. Here's a simple test you can use tomorrow. No gadgets needed. It's called the talk test. At a good brisk pace, you can still hold a conversation, but you couldn't comfortably sing. If you can sing, you can likely nudge the pace up. If you can't even talk, ease off. That's too hard for a regular walk. Have you ever actually checked which zone you walk in? Most seniors never have. Many discover they've spent years in the could easily sing zone. Now let me tell you about Rosa, a composite example, not a real patient. Rosa, 70, was proud of her daily 2-hour slow walk. When her daughter asked her to try the talk test, Rosa realized she could have sung an entire song without missing a note. She shortened her walk to 40 minutes and added a few brisker stretches, walking a bit faster from one lamppost to the next, then easing off. 2 things surprised her. First, she wasn't wiped out afterward. Second, for the first time in years, she felt pleasantly warm and energized instead of drained. Same street, half the time, more benefit. And this is where it gets interesting, because the third mistake isn't about the walk at all. Mistake number 3, walking is just walking. I don't need to think about anything else. You might be doing this right now, walking in shoes that are years old, skipping water because it's just a walk, walking through sharp pain because you don't want to seem weak, and never taking a rest day because you're afraid of losing momentum. Let's take these one at a time quickly. Worn-out shoes lose their cushioning long before they look worn. That cushioning is your knee's first line of defense. Many walking shoes lose meaningful support after several hundred miles of use. Skipping water matters more now than it used to because after 60, your sense of thirst becomes less reliable. You can be mildly dehydrated and feel nothing until the dizziness near the end of a long walk. Walking through pain is the big one. Mild muscle tiredness is fine, but sharp joint pain, chest discomfort, unusual breathlessness, or new dizziness are your body's warning lights. Pushing through them isn't toughness, it's ignoring the dashboard. If any of those show up, stop, rest, and talk to your doctor before your next long walk. And rest days? Remember Chapter 2, rest is when strengthening actually happens. A rest day isn't a missed day, it's part of the medicine. So here's our core message a third time in fresh words. The goal isn't to walk longer or endure more. It's to give your body the right dose at the right pace with the right support around it. Which leads to the obvious question, what does that actually look like, step by step? What should you do tomorrow morning? That's Chapter 4, and it's the most practical part of this entire video. What actually helps? Walking smarter, not longer. Everything in this chapter is general education, not personal medical advice. Before changing your routine, especially if you have heart disease, diabetes, joint replacements, or balance problems, discuss it with your doctor. They know your body. I don't. Deal? Good. Let's build your smarter walk. Step 1. Find your right dose. For most seniors, research points to a comfortable middle ground, roughly 30 to 45 minutes of purposeful walking on most days, or a step count somewhere in the range of 6,000 to 8,000 steps daily. Not 2 hours, not a guilt-driven 10,000. And here's the freeing part. It doesn't have to happen all at once. 3 10 to 15-minute walks spread across the day may serve you as well as one long walk, sometimes better, because you avoid draining the battery and you break up long sitting periods. Research suggests that interrupting long sitting time is itself linked to better health in older adults. Have you ever thought of your walks as 3 small doses instead of one big one? Morning, after lunch, after dinner. Same total, gentler on the body. Step 2, add gentle pace changes. But here's the part most people miss. You don't need to walk fast the whole time. You just need moments of brisk. Try what I call lamppost pacing. Walk at your normal pace, then pick a landmark ahead, a lamppost, a mailbox, and walk briskly until you reach it. Then ease back to normal until you've fully recovered. Repeat 4 to 6 times per walk. In Japan, researchers studied a version of this idea called interval walking. 3 minutes brisk, 3 minutes easy, repeated in middle-aged and older adults. Over months, participants showed improvements in fitness, leg strength, and blood pressure compared with steady, moderate walking. Use the talk test from Chapter 3 to find brisk. Talk yes, sing no. And if your doctor has given you specific heart rate limits, those always come first. Step 3. Time one walk after a meal. Remember the blood sugar science from Chapter 2? Put it to work. A short, easy 10 to 15-minute walk after your largest meal may help your muscles soak up sugar from the bloodstream and soften the after-meal spike. This is one of the highest value, lowest effort habits in this entire video. It's not intense, it's just well-timed. Step 4. Prepare like it matters because it does. Water before you leave, especially in warm weather. Don't wait for thirst, because after 60, thirst arrives late. Shoes with real cushioning replaced before they're visibly destroyed, a hat and lighter pace on hot days. And in icy or wet conditions, consider an indoor option, a shopping center, a large store, a home hallway circuit. The best walk is the one that doesn't end in a fall. Posture deserves 10 seconds here. Eyes ahead, not at your feet. This trains balance as we learned. Shoulders relaxed. Let your arms swing naturally. Imagine a string gently lifting the top of your head. That's it. No complicated technique. Step 5. Protect your recovery. Take at least one lighter day per week, a short, easy stroll or full rest. If you wake up with heavy legs or lingering joint soreness, that's your body requesting a gentle day. Granting that request isn't quitting. It's how the strengthening from your good days gets locked in. And keep the dashboard rule from Chapter 3. Sharp pain, chest discomfort, unusual breathlessness, or new dizziness means stop and check with your doctor. Every time, no exceptions. Step 6. Add one balance moment. While you're stopped, waiting to cross a street, pausing at a bench, stand tall and shift your weight slowly from one foot to the other. Or practice standing with your feet close together for a few seconds, holding something stable if needed. Tiny balance snacks like this, done daily, gently train those position sensors we met in Chapter 2. Let me show you what this looks like in one life. Thomas, a composite, not a the real patient, is 74 with mild knee arthritis. His old routine, one slow 90-minute walk, then an exhausted afternoon. His new routine, cleared with his doctor, a 25-minute morning walk with 5 lamppost intervals, a 12-minute stroll after dinner, water before both, newer shoes, and Sundays are easy. His total walking time dropped by nearly half. His energy, in his words, doubled. His knees stopped shouting at him by evening. Same man, smarter dose. Here's our core message once more, in its simplest form yet. Walk most days, walk a little brisker in bursts, walk after meals, and let yourself recover. Now let's compress this entire video into one simple plan you could start tomorrow. 1 page, 7 days. Your 7-day smart walking plan. Let's turn everything you've learned into one simple week. Remember, adjust this with your doctor, especially if you're managing a health condition. Think of this as a template, not a prescription. Day 1, Monday, the baseline walk. 30 minutes at your comfortable pace. No intervals yet. Just practice the posture. Eyes ahead, shoulders soft, tall spine. Do the talk test once, out of curiosity. Could you sing? Just notice. Day 2, Tuesday, first intervals, 25 minutes. Add 4 lamppost intervals. Brisk to the landmark, easy until recovered. Water before you leave. Day 3, Wednesday, the split day. No long walk. Instead, 3 short ones. 10 minutes in the morning, 10 after lunch, 10 to 15 after dinner. Notice how different your energy feels by evening. Day 4, Thursday, intervals again. 25 to 30 minutes with 5 lamppost intervals. Add 1 balance moment at a pause. Weight shifts or feet together stance, holding something stable if needed. Day 5, Friday, the after meal walk. A normal 30-minute walk whenever you like, plus a gentle 10 to 15-minute stroll after your biggest meal. This is the blood sugar habit. Small effort, real value. Day 6, Saturday, your favorite walk. Walk somewhere you love. A park, a market, a friend's neighborhood. Bring someone if you can. Walking with company is linked to better consistency. And honestly, it's just more pleasant. Intervals optional today. Day 7, Sunday, recovery. A short, easy stroll, 15 minutes maximum, or complete rest if your body asks for it. This is not a skip day. This is the day the week's work gets locked in. That's it. No gym, no equipment beyond decent shoes and a water bottle. Total time, less than most people spend watching one evening of television. And here's the beautiful part. After a week or two, this stops being a plan and starts being a rhythm. You'll feel when a day calls for intervals and when it calls for rest. Your body will start telling you, and now you'll know how to listen. Have you noticed what we never once said in this video? We never said walk more, because the core message, one final time, is this. After 60, health doesn't come from walking longer. It comes from walking smarter. The right dose, moments of brisk, good timing, and honest recovery. Now let me zoom out, because this is bigger than steps and minutes. Every smart walk you take is a vote for your independence, for carrying your own groceries at 80, for getting down on the floor with grandchildren and back up again, for traveling, gardening, dancing at family weddings. Research consistently links regular walking in later life with maintained mobility and independence. You are not too old to improve. That's not a slogan, it's physiology. Muscles strengthen at 70, at 80, at 90. Balance sharpens with practice at any age. Blood vessels respond to brisk minutes whether you started at 25 or started last Tuesday. Your body has been waiting your whole life for you to ask it, correctly, to adapt. It still knows how. Margaret, from the very beginning of this video, didn't stop walking. She just stopped walking wrong. Shorter, smarter, brisker in bursts, rested on Sundays. She got her afternoons back. She got her energy back. You can too. Starting tomorrow morning at the first lamppost, let's lock in the 3 big takeaways. 1. After 60, walking works best in the right dose, around 30 to 45 minutes most days, not marathon strolls. 2. Pace beats distance. Short, brisk bursts, checked with the talk test, do more than an extra slow hour. 3. Recovery, water, good shoes, and after-meal walks turn ordinary steps into real medicine. Now I'd love to hear from you. How many minutes do you walk each day? And will you try lamppost intervals this week? Tell me in the comments. If this helped you see your daily walk differently, subscribe. Every week we turn medical research into simple steps for healthy aging. And remember, this video is for educational purposes only. Always consult your doctor before making health decisions. See you on the next walk.